I wouldn't recommend listening to this alone. Many viewers miss the real horror by leaving early. Stay till the end, if you dare. The hottest night of that summer began like any other, heavy, windless, and full of the buzzing that only deep heat can create. I still remember standing on my porch, sweating before the sun had even fully set, wondering why the air felt so wrong. My name is Daniel Parker. I was 26 when this happened, living alone in a small rental house on the edge of Willow Creek, a quiet town in northern America known more for fishing and farmers than anything else. Summers were usually peaceful, nights were slow, people slept with their windows open. But that night, no one should have kept anything open. Earlier that afternoon, my neighbor, old Mr. Reeves, stopped me while I was heading to my car. "Hot night coming," he said, wiping sweat from his forehead. "Close your windows tight, animals act strange in this heat." I laughed softly. "Animals? Like what?" He didn't smile. "Not the kind you're thinking of." I should have asked more. I should have listened. But I didn't. 1. The first sound. By 10 p.m., the house felt like an oven. The air conditioner had stopped working that morning, so I left the windows open to let in whatever breeze might come. I pulled a chair near the window, hoping to cool down. The sky outside had turned a deep purple. No moon, no stars, just a thick heaviness that made the trees look drowned in darkness. At first, the sound was faint. A soft, rhythmic clicking, like someone tapping two stones together. Click, click, click. I leaned out the window, scanning the empty road. Nothing. No footsteps, no animals, no cars. I told myself it was a branch, or a bug, anything. But the clicking grew louder. Click, click, click. Slowly, steadily, getting closer. I felt a strange pressure building in my ears, like the sound was crawling inside my head. Suddenly a dry wind swept through the street. Too cold, too sudden for the heat we'd suffered all day. It dragged along dead leaves even though it wasn't autumn. That was the moment I should have closed the window. But curiosity is stronger than fear, at least at first. 2. The figure. I stepped onto my porch to get a clearer look. The night smelled of soil and heat, but there was also something else, an odor like burnt wood mixed with iron. Then I saw it, at the far end of the street, standing perfectly still between two street lamps, was a tall, shadowy figure. Its body was long, too long, and thin like dried branches tied together. I couldn't see its face, but its head was tilted as if listening. The clicking sound stopped when it noticed me. For a moment, everything was silent. Then, with a slow and unnatural motion, the figure lifted its arm and began waving. Not a friendly wave, not a casual wave, a beckoning wave, as if telling me to come closer. A chill ran down my spine. I stepped back into the house, locking the door behind me. But the moment the lock clicked, the figure vanished. Only the sound returned. Click, click, click. This time, much closer. 3. The voices of the heat. I turned off all the lights and crouched near the hallway, listening. The clicking stopped again. Then a new sound took its place, a whisper so soft it sounded like it was sliding under the floorboards. "Daniel." I jolted. No one else in town said my name like that, slow, drawn out, like it was tasting each letter. I backed away from the door and held my breath. For a long moment, I heard nothing but my own heartbeat. Then the whisper came again. "Daniel, come outside, it's cooler out here." It sounded like a voice trying to imitate human speech but failing, like someone who had heard talking but never done it before. I grabbed my phone and dialed 911, but the call didn't connect. No signal, not a single bar. That was when the knocking started. Not on the door, on every window of the house. Tap, 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 tap. Fast, irregular taps, like fingers too long to control. Every window, at once. My breath caught in my throat. I stood frozen in the center of the living room, surrounded by that awful noise. Tap, tap, tap. Then a voice, this time from inside the house. It's hot in here, let me in. 4. The basement. My house had a small basement used mostly for storage. The door to it was always locked because the previous tenant had warned me that raccoons sometimes sneaked in. But right then, I heard something moving inside the basement. Something dragging itself across cement. A long, slow scrape. Scrop. Then, a giggle. I stumbled backward, hitting the wall. The basement door shook as if something inside was pushing it. Not violently, not with force. Slowly, methodically, like it knew there was no rush. I ran into my bedroom and shoved the dresser against the door. My hands trembled so badly I could barely lock it. The tapping on the windows followed me. Tap, tap, tap. Then another whisper. I know you're in there. 5. Midnight heat. Minutes felt like hours. My skin was sticky with sweat, and the heat inside the room grew unbearable, much hotter than before, like the air itself was thickening. I checked my phone again. No signal. The tapping increased, then stopped. Silence. Thick and heavy. For a moment, I hoped whatever it was had gone. But then, a single fingernail scraped down my bedroom window. SHRRRKKKK. Slow. Deliberate. I forced myself to look. And froze. A face was pressed against the glass. But it wasn't a human face. The skin looked stretched too tight, like thin wax melting under heat. The eyes were fully black, swollen, reflecting nothing. The mouth hung open, wide, too wide, revealing rows of tiny, uneven teeth clicking together, producing the sound I had been hearing all night. Click, click, click. I stumbled back, choking on my own breath. The thing leaned closer to the glass, its jaw clicking faster. Open, it whispered. So hot out here. 6. The break-in. The window cracked, not shattered, cracked. A thin fracture line ran across the glass. The creature's fingertip, long, gray, and sharp as a thorn, pressed into the crack and pushed. Another crack splintered out, then another. I grabbed the heaviest thing I could find, a metal lamp, and backed toward the wall. Suddenly, an explosion of sound ripped through the house. Glass breaking, wood snapping, a loud, violent crash from the living room. They weren't trying to get in anymore. They were already inside. The footsteps were wrong. Too soft, too many joints, like a giant spider walking on its limbs. One step, another, then another, getting closer to my room. I pressed myself into the corner, shaking uncontrollably. The footsteps stopped right outside the bedroom door. Then, a long, deep inhale. As if smelling me through the wood. My vision blurred. I thought I might faint. But then, a voice from outside the house shouted my name. Daniel. It was Mr. Reeves. The creature outside the bedroom door paused. For the first time, it made a new sound, a hiss, sharp and angry. Then the footsteps retreated, fast. Something skittered through the hallway, down the stairs, and out of the house. Glass shattered again. Then, silence. 7. The ending that wasn't. I stayed frozen until Mr. Reeves kicked open my bedroom door. He found me sitting on the floor, drenched in sweat, pale as a ghost. Did it get inside? He asked urgently. I nodded. He swallowed hard. They come every few years on the hottest night of summer, he whispered. They follow the heat. They follow the open windows. You should have closed yours. He helped me outside, where several neighbors stood with flashlights. None of them looked surprised. Only scared. I looked around, trembling. The street was quiet. The night was still. But the smell of burnt wood and iron, still lingered heavily in the air. Mr. Reeves placed a firm hand on my shoulder. "Don't sleep here tonight," he said. "And when next summer comes, if the air ever feels like this again, leave town before dark." I didn't argue. I never slept in that house again. And every summer since, when the heat becomes too intense and the night feels too quiet, I hear it again. Very faint, very far, but unmistakable. Click, click, click. If this story stayed in your mind longer than it should, leave a like, subscribe to Grim Wave, and tell me in the comments what part disturbed you the most.